Hello,
Hello.
how you doing? Ramadan Kareem to every one of you.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Madam Karen.
Yes, sir.
It's
Ramadan
not
Kareem.
eat.
It's not, Ramadan Kareem is just like
Sorry.
Ramadan Kareem is just like a salutation, just like greeting, like a general salutation from the religion.
Anyways, that
But
aside,
it's Eid. The salutation is
let's
Eid.
moving on.
Yeah.
Welcome
So
to another episode.
episode of our one and only Daddy Dabs and Mommy Dabs.
This is
with
Hilos.
Hilos. So this is Hilos. So I think this is our fifth episode.
I don't know.
So
but
today we'll be discussing about our delivery experience, the labor experience, how Mommy Dabs actually, was able to kill it with the help of God, and then how the one and only Baby Dabs came to us, into our lives, and changed everything. Like she created that spark.
Oh my God.
And the young dude, Dr. Hills.
Who is Dr. Hills? Please don't give me
the one and only
to
Austin. Changed to Mommy and Daddy
Dr.
Dabs.
Hills. Please, so I'm not a doctor, at least not yet.
So we started that Sunday, I think.
Okay,
on a very regular Sunday.
Apparently that day we haven't been to church in a while, apparently, so I was kind of really, I just felt the push for us to go to church that day.
Go to church with all your whole
I was already 38 weeks gone. That's I was literally I was already 39 weeks
39
gone.
weeks,
Funny enough,
39 weeks.
So
like we're expecting any moment.
Any moment she was meant to drop. I was already approaching 40 weeks. So that Sunday we went to church. Myself, my mom, and Daddy Dabs here. We went to church. And it was really nice.
Really nice. Everything was going on smoothly as planned.
We took pictures, we vibed, and then we came home.
Yeah.
We ate. I sat down doing my normal small petty exercises that I did not do throughout pregnancy until when I got to close to delivery that I started. For the record, it wasn't really easy for me because it was it wasn't strenuous. It's something I haven't really, Anyways, cut the long story short, let's leave that story. So after doing like my frog, what do they call that thing? I think it's frog walk.
Frog walk.
Frog walk, then
squatting,
stretching my legs and all of that. Because I didn't want my legs to get swollen as well, so I needed to like stay up and active. After all of this, all of a sudden I felt this weird pain that came, like it was intense, yeah, and then it stopped after a while.
That was the first time I did?
Yes.
That was the first
time. In my head I'm like, what's going on, man? What's this pain? I'm not familiar with this one because I've already had lightning earlier on in pregnancy, not like in my third trimester. Earlier on in my third trimester, I already felt that lightning effect, which my doctor said was normal. I already started seeing blood, which they call shoe. I already started seeing blood. So my doctor already told me, madam, you're already close to delivery. And the last time we checked, I was already 2 centimeters dilated for the first day. Yeah. So it kept on happening. You get, I said, let's just watch and see. From around 1 p.m.-ish, started feeling that pain till 4 p.m. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not feeling comfortable.
And I said, let's call the doctor.
So I decided to call my doctor. And when I called my gynecologist, he was like, if you go to the hospital, like this now, you can just give birth any moment. I'm like, how? Because whenever I went for my antenatals every Monday, my doctor used to always tell me, you can drop any moment.
And your water has not even broken.
And at that time, my water had not broken. You get, my water was still intact, but I already saw show. I already felt all the necessary pain of preparing to deliver and all of that. So when that extra pain came in, I was like, nah, this shit is not normal. You get. So my husband, after the doctor advised to go to the hospital, my husband decided to say, okay, let's go to the hospital. Now, where we stayed, it's actually a little bit secluded from the main road. Yeah. So you don't just see keke or a car carrying, except personal vehicles by residents. So the only thing that was actually running inside the estate are bikes. Now, obviously, I cannot take a bike. And then before now, we actually planned in the sense that we actually contacted a couple of Uber drivers who we had
drivers,
their
on
numbers,
standby.
including one of our neighbors on standby. But it's that particular day that none of them were
None of
available.
them were on standby.
None of them were available. Like 3 or 4 of
Yes,
them, none
none.
were available. One said his car was bad, one said he's out of town, another one said he just left the house, that he went to carry somebody. Like, oh man, it was crazy. So at that point in time, we didn't know what to do. I was like, you know what, I think I can walk. Like, I think I can walk. I can bed, then and walk. So myself and my mom, we started walking. My husband rushed down with the bike to go and look for keke that will carry us inside the estate. That's how we were walking. Small. Me and my mother were walking until we got to the main gate of the estate. That's when my husband was able to see one keke that now carried us from there to Apple Junction. Because my hospital is at First Bank. Yeah. From Apple Junction, we now took a drop to the hospital. Go to the hospital. I walked in. They already know me. Madam. I say you like say my baby ready. Don't ready to. It was already night. It was already around past 7-ish. Yeah. So I got there. I was walking up and down because pain was coming and going, and it was getting intense a bit. But I was able to bear the pain. At that point in time, the doctor that was attending at that moment came in. She saw me. She was like, we're gonna admit you since you're already.
The very moment she mentioned that admission, I was like, okay.
At that point, my husband had to go back home and carry my delivery box. He brought it, and he brought in some things as well. Brought some clothes, also got food, came to the hospital. I was admitted. They took my blood. They took me to the labor room. Now, in the labor room, I was in there. The pain was still, the contractions were not intense. The doctor was like, what she's observing is the early stage of pregnancy. Early stage of labor. Latent stage of labor. So it was still like that early one. I was feeling the pain was going and coming. So at that night, the doctor kept on checking in on me. She said they're going to keep me over for observation, see if it gets more intense, and then let them see if the dilation works. So increase to like 4 centimeters. So at that point in time, it was same thing. The nurses came in, checked up on me, checked my blood pressure. They kept on checking. It got to Monday. Yeah. Getting to Monday, the same check. The pain was still there. It wasn't going away, but it wasn't intense. So at that point in time, the gynecologist came. That was not actually the gynecologist that has been seeing me through my antenatal. This was a new gynecologist. Apparently, he's the gynecologist.
He's a consultant.
He's the consultant on
the hospital.
He's the one that is in charge of delivery. Yeah. So he came in and saw me, and he was like, madam, I have to go and carry out a scan so that they will know the baby, to make sure that the baby is not in distress or that, since this is the early stage of labor. And it was like, since it's not yet intense. And then they also checked for like dilation, which was still 2 centimeters. And since it wasn't like the early stage, it was still in the early stage, but like there's no cause for alarm that I can actually go home. And whenever the pain gets intense, I can come back. So in my head, I'm like, go home and do what I do. I'm already 39 weeks. Why am I going home? So I called my other gynecologist.
And you are still feeling pain, are you?
I was still feeling pain.
Serious
for the
pain.
record. I called my other gynecologist, and he was like, why are they telling you to go home? Have your baby and just take your baby home. You're literally almost 40 weeks. They don't want you to, you're like, see your due date. What again? It's basically that in the month of August, once you enter August, you can literally give birth any day. So it doesn't really matter if it doesn't get to your due date. If it's going to take a week to your due date, it doesn't really matter. Have your baby and go home. I said, well, the thing is that the labor is not intense enough, the contraction is not intense enough for me to push. It was like, they should just induce. In the space of 30 minutes, 1 hour, you are done with all these things. What's the delay? I was like, a bill. So my husband was like, they should induce you. I don't have time to waste. They kept me there. The doctor said it's still going to keep me under observation. The doctor did not say anything. Kept me under observation for the whole of Monday. Tuesday, they still kept me under observation. And the pains were still there. So you can imagine from Sunday Monday, Tuesday.
That's
I
over
was feeling this
72
way.
hours.
And then I went to do the scan. They say, your baby is fine. The heartbeat is good though she's already going down,
Yes.
ready to come out. I'm like, so why are you people not stressing me now? What put me through this stress? I want to have this baby. The doctor was like, let them observe me. So on Wednesday morning, the doctor came in with the intention to discharge me and send me home because he said, it's not intense enough. The contraction is not intense enough, and it's not dilated to 4 centimeter either. Plus, your water has not broken, so no need. Go home, and whenever your water breaks, then you can come back. I'm like, what is this?
Like,
my husband got angry. Did you get? My husband was upset, and he was like, see, just induce my wife so she can have this baby, and we leave this hospital with our baby.
And the pain
because
is not,
she's been here since Sunday,
not
and the
funny.
pain is still there, and she's
Unbearable.
already 39 weeks, 5 days.
5 days, almost 40 now.
Almost 40 weeks. So what are you still stalling about? Do you get? So at that point in time, the doctor was like, okay, let's see. The next thing, he came back to check up on me again, and then he realized that my blood pressure was increasing, dangerously high. So at that point in time, I was like, I'm sorry, madam, and we cannot discharge you. You would have to have the baby. I'm like, is that not what I've been telling you since? That I want to have this baby? Is that not what I've been saying since? That I want to have this baby? They are doing dilly-dally. I don't know what their plan was, because they were later telling me that they were checking me to check the dilation, that they realized that my birth canal was narrow. Of course, I'm a first-time mom. I've not given birth before. It will be narrow. It's normal. It's nothing strange. So I don't know what they were expecting. That it's going to be also free. You get? So at that point in time, I was like, you know what? I'm ready to have this child. Since people don't even have the tools to expand the birth canal, and basically, I'll go born her, regardless of what.
Of course.
So at that point in time, one nurse was like, since you're going to now have your baby, you're not supposed to be eating again, or just in case you might go into emergency C-section. For the record, I don't have a problem with the cesarean section. I was ready to have my child whether via cesarean section or normal delivery, like natural birth, whichever. You get? But then again, I was capable of pushing. So why people stalling? So that I will get tired, and then people not tell me that, let's take your tummy.
Of course.
Which I don't have a problem with.
Then
but then again, I felt like that's what I was trying to
charges.
do. You get? Because I was obviously strong enough to push. So let's do this. Let's get down with it.
They just want to incur more charge. More
so
abuse.
at that point in time, the doctor came in, and then he did I think they started the inducement process. Catheter, yeah, I think it's catheter. I've forgotten the name. I'm not sure if I'm wrong. You correct me, Sha. But I think it's catheter that they inserted in my vagina canal. I'm sorry, my birth canal, if I'm not mistaken. Is it my birth canal?
It's your birth canal.
No, my cervix.
Not birth canal. Yes. Anyhow,
it was my cervix.
You're the one that knows
that they inserted it.
Right, so
that the cervix can expand. I think so.
But was it before they inserted? You were already 4 centimeter dilated.
No, I was still 2 centimeter.
2 centimeter. Oh, okay.
The 2 centimeter, no, they increased. So when they inserted it, and I expanded to 4 centimeter.
With pain.
I wasn't really feeling that much pain still.
Okay.
It was when they injected me with the inducing.
Oh, they now injected you again.
They not really inject. They gave me
it's a drip. Okay.
Yes. So when they put that drip line to my hand, that's when I started feeling this intense contractions. So at that point, the doctor now burst my water as well. He burst my water, and water came out. And at that moment,
the way the guy even was checking it, you know, when they're saying they want to check, I was thinking there's a particular machine. So there was a particular machine that we use.
They will put something in my this thing.
The way they describe it, I was thinking it was, but this thing is manually done.
Extremely painful. Okay, maybe it's not extremely painful. I'm over exaggerating. It was discomforting.
Discomforting. The way you press my hand, can't you see the way you press my hand?
Because it was discomforting, and then I was having contractions.
Yeah, using English, discomforting. It was painful. The way you were squeezing my hand.
Yeah. So when the contractions now started, oh my God, oh my Jesus.
I thought you were joking when you're talking about the contraction. When the contraction, I thought when you finally now stood up, and you're now running down the whole staircase. I was like, okay. Then I
And
say,
at that point in time, I would like to
you like say this woman don't start.
it was so intense that I didn't know how to position my body again.
Exactly.
I was so uncomfortable. And at that point in time, I was already taking off my clothes.
Yeah.
Because, guy, the pain was mad.
Exactly. Because when I now, in fact, when I knew that yes, you have entered gear 1, the when people came inside, male doctors, female doctors.
No, that was not.
You never
that
saw
was
anybody.
during delivery now. I'm talking about the labor process.
Yeah, I'm saying now.
Sorry, I'm talking about the contraction process.
That's what I'm saying now. In the contraction, before in the contraction, when you're contracting, you're aware of your environment. When they recover yourself.
Came in, I was already in the labor room pushing. That's a different thing now. Yes, I was already in the labor room pushing.
No, before you went to the labor room, when you were there,
I wasn't naked by then. It was inside the labor pushing room.
Okay.
That's when I undressed.
Okay.
You get. So when I went into the labor room, I was like, I want to. They say, oh, I cannot push. I said, I have to push more. They refused. The matron now came in and she said to check me. We went to the labor pushing room place, the labor room side, and my husband followed me. He held my hand. The contractions were already very intense. So she said to check. And then she was like, wow, you're already 10 centimeters dilated.
Like, when I had that 10 centimeter, space of
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
If I'm not wrong. I was already 10
That's from
cm.
4
From 4. It was basically from 4 cm, we just went straight to
10.
In a space of 30 minutes. And I can tell you for free that the pain was intense. You know, they stopped. It was consistent. So at that point in time, the matron was like, Madam, it is time for us to do this.
I was like, that was about 6 to 7. I think?
Yes,
okay, past 5. Okay.
Yeah.
5:30.
At that time, my husband
on a Wednesday,
on the 14th of
August.
My husband held my hand. He was like, babe, it's time. Let's do this. I'm like, okay. I was already out of it at that moment. You get, and it was so painful. And it was very intense. So when I started pushing, at that moment, it was 1, 2, 3, push. My husband will be like, push. Hey, God.
Yeah, I was pushing with my mouth. Like I was the cheerleader. Because that was all the midwives. They said your own is to just ginger her.
I almost beat him. Like my teeth was literally on his skin. Remaining small, I couldn't bite them. Like
you know, bite me, Daddy.
I did not.
You almost wanted to.
That's what I said.
Yeah, you wanted to. In fact, assuming I did not move my back.
You told me please don't bite me.
Because your mouth was already on the cloth. And the nurses were like, no matter what happened, hold her down. Hold her down.
I think maybe you should continue from here.
So
when
the pushing started, because she was like, the nurse told me, the midwife, and they said, you have to help her to push. I was like, how? They say, as she's pushing, your own is just to be telling her, be shouting. And on no occasion must she raise her back up. So I was like, okay. Then we started the pushing. You push. I will be saying her push. Then you'll be shouting. She said, no. Don't shout. Let your husband do the shouting. You push. I was like, why are you doing push and shout?
You said I should not shout.
He said, don't shout. Don't shout. Your own is to push. Husband, shout the shout. Ginger her. Motivate her. Shout the shout. Then, of course, it started. I shouted for how many minutes?
It wasn't for so long, anyways. The first push.
But my voice was almost, I strained my voice.
She was like, give me a strong push. I did, and she was like, your baby's head is already here. I'm like, oh!
Exactly.
Daddy, that was going to go and peep and
when I saw it, my God.
This one, I won't lie. He has the courage.
I needed to see it so that I will be able to encourage you.
At that moment in time, obviously my birth canal was narrow.
Yeah.
The nurse now told me, Madam, we are going to give you an episiotomy. And I'm like, do you realize? In my head, I'm like,
when she said we are going to give you, I was thinking they are going to inject you. But then I know, I was
carrying
not seeing different equipment, scissors and everything.
And I told her to wait first. Let me breathe.
That's what she was telling me.
She was like, hold your
what's your name? What's your name? I said, my name is Auguste. So what's your daughter's name? And Daberechi. So you can call me Daddy Dab. So Daddy Dabs, you know what you do? Please hold her. On no occasion should she stand up. I was like, what do you mean by stand up? Because there's something I'm going to do now that will want to make her to stand up. Else she might choke your baby. When I heard that word, I just went back again and I don't know that baby's head is here. Like I can literally see the baby's head.
These people tear me in my, oh my God. Like, and I raised my waist.
As the very moment, Jesus Christ. The very moment she just gave me the eye because you were shouting, you were pushing, and I was shouting. She just said, hold her.
I'm having.
She was like, hold her now. As I just held her, she just did the first cut. As she did the first cut, piam. Say, if my wife don't stand up, he said, oh, hold her, she will choke your baby. I just press you down. The moment I press you down like this, she just did the second one. And the second one, everything just came out.
I did not feel the second one, but I felt the first one.
I did the second one like this. The other side, just like they were so experienced. In the split seconds, they just dragged the baby out. And they dragged the baby out like this. They just dropped the baby on your tummy. I was not even focused on the baby side again. What I was also I was seeing, oh God, blood was gushing out as if it was stabbed. I thought my bride was going to die. Honestly speaking.
I did not die. I'm here.
I thought she was going to die. I thought she was going to die.
I was still very conscious. That's the beautiful thing. I was still very conscious. I was still very awake.
I was so amazed and surprised that the way blood was just gushing out, and this one was like, just will not bleed to death. Immediately they called the surgeon and they started doing the thing. Then of course,
you know what? The first thing was now this is where the testimony comes into play. The first thing was when they put her in my tummy.
Yeah.
She wasn't making any sound.
Of course not, because
she wasn't crying.
All my focus was on them stopping the blood. Then I heard that it's past almost.
She wasn't crying.
3, 4, 5 minutes.
Later on,
and she came out. She was white.
She was white, and I was like, white. My baby is not crying. What's going on? And then they took her from my tummy.
Took her immediately.
I don't know the lights. One light.
That their radiography, whatever.
One light.
Radiology light, something. Yeah.
They took her under that light, and they started rubbing her. The baby was not crying. At that moment, my husband and I, our focus was on our daughter, not crying. At that moment, they asked her, "What's the daughter?" I said, "Daberechi." Call out to Daberechi. I was like, "Daberechi, what's me?" I said, "Trust in God." Yes. They were like, Daberechi, you better cry.
Daberechi, you better cry. You better cry.
Cry.
And they started
at that moment, I started speaking in tongues because I'm not about to.
My wife has not speaking in tongues since I married her. She has never ever spoken in tongues. She prays a lot, but she has never. Maybe you have been speaking when I'm not around, but me, literally, I've never seen her.
That aside,
the very moment I saw her speaking in tongues, it was as if God. In fact, I knew that there was a particular spirit there. Like, we are not alone. We are not alone.
At that moment, a lot of things were going on at the same time.
Then
they were bringing in an oxygen tank,
everything.
They put in this suctioning. They were doing a suction.
Yeah, the two nurses started calling her name.
Fluid from her lungs,
speaking
her name.
And at that moment,
too. The song was playing in the background.
That was when somebody now played that song.
And we were praying. Everybody was praying inside that labor room.
The labor room turned into a revival.
My daughter did not cry.
My mother-in-law was at the door. Hey, Kabasha.
She was not shaking. She was not crying. Nothing. In my head, I'm like, it's a lie.
This went on for close to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
This went on for close to 15 minutes.
And then I saw her leg shake. I was like, her leg is shaking. They were like, yes, she's turning.
That was when
she's turning red. So at that moment,
they just continued the prayer again.
Continued with the prayer, and the nurse was still doing what she was doing, hitting her, rubbing her.
And funnily, something funny was just happening. The surgeon was just there, doing his own thing, stitching you. Everybody was
like, he tapped on my tummy and the placenta came out, and he was just doing his own cleaning. He was so calm and nice.
Everybody were
doing his
praying,
job, cleaning
shouting,
me up. Everybody was doing the prayers and
trying
Daberechi now
to
finally
make
cried.
Daberechi cry.
She finally cried.
The very moment,
The very moment I heard her voice, I was like, oh my god. They took her out of the labor room immediately and took her to the NICU. She was
you know, a lot was
she
going
was
through my mind. I was
she
like,
was on an oxygen
yeah.
tank.
A lot was a
They
lot
said they
went
needed
through my
to
mind.
observe her, so they took her to the NICU and kept her inside the
One,
do they call that in an incubator?
I don't know.
She was basically in the NICU, Sha, and
Because the
kept there.
thing has an oxygen,
Yeah,
you know.
all those just
yeah.
I didn't really
Yeah,
take
stuff.
picture of that. I didn't want her to be traumatized. So inside the labor room there and then, the doctor kept doing his job. My husband was with me all through. Watched this doctor carefully sew me up.
Yes, now because there was a time that he had to tell me that he told me there was a time he had to tell me that I should come, you know, hold a particular rope. Like
Did he tell you to hold it?
Yes, now I hold it because he had to cut it. Because I had to wear some. He wanted to cut the rope now, so he couldn't. He was trying to. So I told him, "Can I help?" Say yes. I just told me to wear some glove. Then I should now hold that particular place. So he now went in and cut it. So as he was cutting it, I just let me just look. Oh God!
What did you see?
All I know is that.
I didn't know what was going on.
All I know is that.
Body was.
All I know is that God is good. God is great, and I think the doctors are next to God, because I could see your entire canal, like you know, they say meat, pure flesh, real live meat, and the guy was just stitching you with blood around, like.
You see this part, I wasn't aware, so
you know, that was when I now noticed. That I now understood fully why they were checking your blood level.
Yeah.
Why they were checking that they were always advising me that you should take more calcium, and more of iron, things that has a lot of iron, so that you form
because during
blood.
delivery you lose a lot of
like. So I was talking to. I had the opportunity to even engage the surgeon. I was like, "Is she not going to bleed today?" He said, "No. These are part of the whole process." That was why whenever you come for antenatal, they will tell you give her a lot of things that contains iron, because she's going to lose a lot of blood. But don't worry, we will definitely give her some transfusion, of course.
But I wasn't really giving a transfusion.
Of course, that was what you said. Because if you get to a particular level, then of course they will transfuse. But at this point, whatever I'm seeing here, it has your pregnancy has made everything available. All this blood is a result of your pregnancy, so you are good enough. I should not overthink it. So you just stitch everything and start cleaning the blood. The midwives, they came and they said I should not bother. I said, I have to. Then, and the nurse was like, wow, how come you are not traumatized? How come you are not fainting? How come you are cleaning blood? I said, honestly speaking, I don't know what is inside me. I felt something entered me. Do you understand? And it was after my own trauma came after everything. You know, when I came back home.
I actually told him to take a picture and send it to me of all my design and look. He told me, trust me, you don't want to see it.
You don't want to see it.
You'll be traumatized.
You don't want to see it. It was. I thank God. It was a living experience.
Honestly.
And it's something I'm going to live for the rest of my life. And
he's still going to experience it again. Remember,
something I'm going to live for the rest of my life. But I respect you. Do you understand? I respect you for that, because it's actually nice me seeing it for the first time in my life, going through it first time.
Yeah.
And
I won't lie, my husband was my hero that day, and he went through it all. He stood there. He didn't run away. He didn't hide. He held me down. He prayed. He was there all through. His focus was on me, so that he just wanted me to be fine. Do you get? He was like, you have to come out of this fine. Do you get? And at that moment, he understood what it felt like having a child, where they say when you're giving birth during delivery, you're basically in between life and death. Because at that moment he saw how it felt like.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
he witnessed firsthand. So if somebody's gonna have a conversation about it, trust me, he knows what it feels like. He might not have felt the pain, but he experienced that whole phase with me.
You're not supposed to. You're not, according to the nurse, the midwife, the nurse that was delivering, you're not supposed to have a bilateral cut.
Yeah,
It's supposed to just be a unilateral.
Yes,
You almost shook your baby.
I wasn't aware.
Like when I saw the baby head out, she was like, okay, let me just do a lateral cut so that she would just use that point and draw the baby out. So as they did that cut, you raise up your back up. You were choking the baby.
I don't know.
As in, you were choking, and she was like, hold her down, else she will choke the baby, and we are almost about to cut the baby off, her neck off. Immediately she now cut the other side. As she cut the other side, the baby now moved to the other side, she now shrugged the baby out. That was when I now dragged it down. So I dragged it down, she cut the other side, because at the same time, so dragging it down, she was cutting the other side. The baby now moved to the other side, she just dragged her to the other side. I was scared to death. Because she was yelling at me, do you want to kill your baby? I was like, do you want her to kill your baby? Because she can actually just squeeze herself and the baby's head will just stuck.
Yeah, and it will choke her.
To death. Yeah. So that was how you had that bilateral cut.
Yeah, so that's how I had a double episiotomy and I got stitched. But I'm fine now. I'm fine now because it was painful.
It was painful, right?
It was really painful.
And the miracle that happened was I saw her turn from white to red till her color. Because I was so bothered about you releasing unnecessary blood before we now noticed that this Daberechi girl never still cry. So that 4-5 minutes we were focusing on her, trying to make sure that she did not lose too much blood because the blood was just gushing out unnecessarily, like it was gushing out profusely, not stop. Then I noticed that no, maybe never cry. Immediately just carried her, put on one particular light, and then when I'm asking her, what's her name? I said Daberechi. Daberechi, oh yeah, your mom is here, your daddy is here. They've been waiting for you since. This is 3 days labor, so you need to cry. I'm like, okay. Immediately, my wife. The very moment my wife just started speaking in tongues, everybody just followed suit.
Honestly, I just want to thank God for the delivery process, and I just want to appreciate every doctor out there that do the work, every matron, every doctor, every nurse.
They are the real VIPs.
Those who actually care for their patients, you guys are the real MVPs.
The real MVPs. The nurses, the midwives, the doctors. I respect.
You guys are like everything. Honestly. And to every father out there who stands tall and supports their wife in the process like this, you guys are like the best of the best. You're a species from a different planet entirely. You're rare. If you have a husband who goes through this process with you, madam, lady, babe, you don't know what God has done for you. Because every day I am grateful to my husband for going through this, because I can't imagine doing something like this by myself. Because I won't lie, I was tired at some point, and I wanted to say,
yes,
I told him,
you're tired at some point. Yes, and the doctor,
I was pushing.
The mother was like, she must not get tired. You have to see, wait till I don't motivate that day. I said, think of any motivation. Think of anything to say.
Anything you want. You're gonna get. They won't promise me the world.
As in, promise our estate.
There's nothing they don't promise me.
Promise our estate. Like,
nevertheless,
I'm going to take her to Netherlands, and by God's grace, I will take her to Netherlands.
It's a surreal experience, and it was so real. It was so unreal, but it was real, and I thank God for the outcome. We have our beautiful princess now, Daberechi. She's already 7 months old. She's a happy child, growing well, eating well, very healthy, very pretty, very loud, very lively, very noisy. But at the end of the day, she's our angel and our princess, and we love her dearly for coming into our lives. So
just thank God for everything.
We just want to say, we want to appreciate.
And that song,
we want to say,
Omema.
You see the song Omema, it was it. and we've been playing that song.
I think that song
Ever
came
since.
at the right time. I don't know
And
what made the
for
nurse,
me,
one of the nurse, play that song at that moment. I don't know. That was the first time I heard that
Yeah.
song. And I think when that song came in, that was when you now noticed that her leg was shaking. I was like, eh? He said, yes, you just saw the leg shake. I was like, now look at it again immediately. You know, the very moment I just heard that cry. Yeah.
let's not drag this story because if we go on and on and
Don't
on,
worry.
we keep talking about it, and we're not going to come to an end.
Yeah.
So I just want to say to every pregnant woman out there, God give you the strength
Yeah.
to carry your
bless
child
you.
to full term
It's
and
not easy.
eventually have your babies. Whichever way, if it's cesarean section, if it's do natural delivery,
You are the
God give you
best.
the strength to carry through and have your child in one
All
in
mothers
one
out there,
piece.
you are the best thing
Nobody
ever.
is going
Warriors.
to have a still baby.
Yeah.
God is going to help everyone.
Amen.
God is going to be there for everyone.
Amen.
You'll carry your baby and give it to your baby.
Amen.
It's wholesome. Your baby is going to cry.
Amen.
Your baby is going to be healthy.
Amen.
So, to every parent out there expecting or praying to have a child, God is going to bless you with yours.
Amen.
Because when we had our child, we just can't, we just didn't expect it. But at the end of the day, we're grateful for the experience we have, and Daberechi making us parents.
Yeah.
Something we're very happy about.
And I'm so appreciative to everyone that sent in
Supported
their
us
prayers,
in every way,
in every way,
financially, psychologically, mentally, emotionally. What
For those that
thank
prayed,
you.
thank you.
Thank you
very
for your
much.
support.
To
Thank you
everyone.
for being there
To
for
all
us.
the doctors out there too, God bless you all.
Yeah,
To the entire staff of Email Hospital, God
that's
bless
the
you.
name of the hospital.
God bless you all.
Amazing
You guys
hospital.
were the real MVP. You guys were awesome. You guys were awesome. That's just the
Yeah.
word. Like from start to finish. Everybody was up and doing. Like
nobody relaxed.
when
Nobody
it was time for
relaxed.
them to start praying, they fired in
I
the
remember
prayer.
what the matron said. She said,
Yes.
"It's not on my watch. It's
Yeah,
not
on my watch. Like it was like
not on my watch.
when
That
she,
I will
like
lose
lose
a child.
a child. Never.
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 It can never happen.
She said maybe it can happen when it's someone else's shift though, but not
But
on her
not
own.
on her shift
Lie.
because she just resumed.
She just
So
resumed.
she was like, "This baby must cry."
Must cry. And she did it, and God did
I
it.
could see the expression on her face.
Like,
honestly, she was wonderful.
Because I was just thinking, like, after 3 days of labor, this baby will not cry. God forbid.
Mm-hmm.
After 3 days of labor, this baby will not cry. God forbid.
Mm-hmm.
And so
that's
until
it.
next time.
Yep, we're gonna be talking about something else.
I think the next one we're going to be talking about will be centered on her.
On
Daberechi itself. Yeah.
We're gonna get to know more.
Yeah. After the miracle, there was a particular
another yeah.
a
We're gonna share that
particular
story.
test again. But at the end of the day, we still had our testimony.
Yeah. So we're gonna share that story. That will be on the next episode. Thank you guys for staying loyal.
Yeah.
Thank you for all our new subscribers.
Exactly.
Please don't forget to turn on the notification
And subscribe.
and share. Tell people. To all our old subscribers, thank you very much.
And I hope and I believe and I want
channel.
I believe that this particular episode will encourage everyone out there.
Yeah.
For those that are planning to give birth, for those that are already expecting.
Yeah.
Just know that it only takes the two of you to make that delivery work.
Yeah.
So you understand, and then with God, everything and anything is possible. So until next time, I am Daddy Dabs.
And this is Mommy
Dabs. And this is
Enough. Bye.
Stay tuned.